Welcome to the Better Man Show. I'm your host, John Matuz, and we're going to start with Coach Two now. We had Coach One with Al Marinton. Now we're bringing on Michelle Wilson. So, as you know, as in the last video you guys saw, I had some great results with the 21-day reset and the program that I went through with Al Marinton. And like I said, if you follow these instructions verbatim, do what they tell you to do when they tell you to do it, it's going to work. I mean, all of us have tried to do stuff on our own, never works. We always try to come up with our own solutions, our own path, and somehow it just doesn't work, right? So that's why we're bringing these coaches on. And so now I got Coach Two, Michelle Wilson. So Al, Michelle, say hi to each other.
Hello, Al. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Michelle.
Yeah, so I've known Michelle for probably 15 years. Um, Met her while I was coaching high school football with her husband Anthony, and we were coaching at the same high school we went to as our alma mater, St. Paul High School. And so Michelle and Anthony, they had a
Sorry,
training
I'm
center.
sorry.
That's okay, and also a supplement store. And so I was training with Anthony at the school, with the rest of the football team. And so I met Michelle and tried to get on a nutritional program with her. But right when I met them, we just had the birth of our daughter Hayden, and so at that time I was just trying um, stay on track as a dad, as a coach, and I just couldn't get in with the program. So, but I've seen the results that she's given to people, so we're bringing her on. So she's coach too.
Hey,
So
everybody. Nice to meet you guys. My name's Michelle, and like I said, I met John when I first started dating my husband 15, 16 years ago. And at that time, I had just finished with the Orange County Fire Authority as part of their first paid hand crew, which was basically their lingo for extra help in the fire line. So fighting the wildfires through Orange County. But I was also competing at that time, simultaneously getting my degree in kinesiology from Cal State Long Beach. And really, I've competed in bodybuilding. I've had my own body image and weight and nutrition issues. I've done everything under the sun, good things, bad things, things I would never have my daughters do or anybody else do. And really going through that and going to those extremes. I found myself at 34 going through menopause and having to start hormone replacement therapy because I just wasn't doing anything. And it was that where I really was like, I need to take better action and accountability for my own actions, both with my training and nutrition, because I was from the golden era of bodybuilding where it was extreme. You were doing 2 to 3 hours of cardio a day. Yes, I did that, along with an hour to an hour and a half of lifting a day. And I did that, roughly consuming anywhere from 800 to 1,200 calories a day. And I did that. And that was kind of like the perfect storm with my body image issues, with my own obsession with hitting a certain number on the scale versus actually saying, hey, what is going to allow my body to be at its best physically? I was an athlete at the time as well. So that mentality of I need to always do more to do better. What do I need to do to actually make myself see and feel that progress that I'm actually wanting to see? Because everything I'm doing, I'm looking and feeling the absolute opposite. And that's where I really started taking, like I said, more accountability for my nutrition, making sure I was getting enough protein on a daily basis, making sure I was getting enough calories as a whole, and not just 1,200, but actually like minimally 1,800, if not more, depending on what that goal was. Making sure I'm getting enough water, sleep, which as a mom, and a mom who had 3 kids in 21 months, it was very minimal at that time too. And that puts that can put you in a very mentally low place, as you mentioned, John, in our phone calls and in your previous videos as well, is when you feel like you can't do for yourself. It's really hard to have that confidence that you can do anything for anybody else or for others, especially those that you really do truly love, your family being the first thing. And making sure that my gut health was in line, because I am a mom. Life is hectic, as you just saw a little bit ago. My dog decided to start barking at the kids playing out in the front yard, so I had to distract him while I was doing that in the meantime. So a lot of my meals really have been quick grab and goes. The workouts have to be different, all of that stuff, but it's now based on whole food options. Again, making sure protein is a priority, making sure that water, making sure that I'm actually enjoying my workouts, and making sure that I want to show up for them. And then also, too, that I'm conveying that same message to my kids. So then that way, my neighbors can see the results of that
Right.
as a family, as a whole. And then that changes your neighbors. It gets them outside, the kids outside playing. It gets them more involved in what they're doing, what their kids are doing. And then that changes the neighbor next on the other side of them. And the next thing you know, you got this ripple effect.
Yeah, and I
And
like
that
the
is
program
what?
and I like the program too that you put together. I like the name of it. That brick house where you build your your clients up brick by brick, right? So
Right.
so right now we're still in the foundational period for the Better Man Show, right? I'm still getting to where I want to be before I get to the next coach and then the next coach and then the
Mhm.
activities that we're planning on doing. So I really enjoy your videos that you have on Facebook. Where you're taking your walks and you're kind of getting your clients pumped up and giving them motivational talks and stuff. And you and I talked on Sunday about what my goal is, and my goal really, ultimately, is to be able to protect my family, right, or to do the activities I want to do, and
Mhm.
not miss out on all the stuff that I need to do as a father, but also as wanting to have fun and do fun stuff, right? So my
Right.
goal isn't to have like a six pack or look like an Adonis. My goal is to be functional and
Mhm.
excel, right? I want to do things at a higher level. And so, what do you see us doing when it comes down to the fitness side of that?
There's actually a couple things. So what I actually do, yes, like we talked about, I do also work with a supplement company. I represent First Form Supplements, and I actually work within their app. I am an 80s baby and a 90s kid, and so I still definitely have a tendency to do old school and try to minimize my technology or social media use, because I can get drowned in it super, super easy. So, this is actually an individual app that, aside from everything, allows me to have direct communication with those that I'm working with. So, inside this app, one, we're going to be able to track your nutrition with it. And with that, you're going to be able to choose either we have that meal plan option where, hey, we just say if you want to have like 3 meals a day, this is how much protein of whatever option you have, whether it be chicken, it gives you a long list of it. Same thing with a starchy carb. Same thing with a vegetable. It basically would be like a shopping list for you to create your own meal thing. Or we do the macros. The main thing is whatever it is going to be easiest for you to follow. Because again, it's going to be the stepping stone to whatever it is you're doing next.
Right.
Okay. And I want to make sure that you grasp the bare basics before we try to start doing anything advanced, making sure that we're doing hitting, specific proteins and carbohydrates and fat numbers. I want to make sure that you're getting enough calories overall. I want to make sure that we're getting enough protein, or the amino acid profile is completely filled to the best of your ability. So then that way we can build, we can recover from our workouts, because as the three of us know, it's a bit different to recover from a lot of different physical activities after 40 than it was in our 20s or in our
Right.
teens.
And one
You
thing I
know,
remember when we talked originally, like 15 years ago, because before, like I said, when I cut weight, it would just be like I would just eat an apple in the morning and a piece of meat at night, and during the day wear a rubber suit and run around until it got to wherever I wanted to reach my goal, right? And then when I was talking to you and you had all of this stuff that I had to eat during the day, it kind of freaked me out mentally, right? I was like,
Mhm.
oh my God, there's no way if I eat all that, I'm going to weigh, 400 pounds, and it just mentally screwed with me. And so it just kind of freaked me out. So that's one of the another reasons I brought you back is because I've seen the results that you've had with other people, and I know what you're doing works, right? And so, like I told Al, I'll do anything that you guys tell me to do. I'll do any workout. I'll eat whatever. I don't care what it is. And I'm just going to be like your lab animal, right? And
Right,
so I'm going to try to get that mental block out of my head and do exact. And I swear I'll do it wherever you want, right? Because I had great results with Al, and I did
right.
what he did said verbatim, and it worked perfectly for me. So um, you know, what we'll do is we'll get that program started, and then we'll cover it more in the next show. But so with you and I, we're gonna start with the nutrition side of it, and then
Hmm.
but we're also gonna work out, right? So I kind of went over with you what I do on a regular basis, like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning. I'm at the gym lifting weights. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do cardio and at a heavy bag. Am I still going to kind of keep that schedule, or are you going to switch all that up?
We might switch a couple things. So, what I would actually like to do, and I'm just actually just going to bring it up because inside, like I was saying, inside that app as well, not only you with your nutrition and direct communication, and then your assessment that you get to turn in directly through that app, it actually provides the workouts for it as well.
Okay.
And the one that, the program that I really think, especially knowing how active you specifically are. And anybody who knows Matuz knows that he is definitely one who is constantly going to be moving. He rarely sit. This is him sitting still for probably the longest I've ever seen him sit still, to be completely honest. So this is actually a strength and muscle building program, and it's still going to have separate days. Like for the first week, your day one is going to be a bench day. Your day two, I know you generally don't train that day, but this is where, hey, we're going to get you out of your comfort zone because that's going to be your squat day. But then the next day is going to be what's called a GPP workout. And hold on, I pressed onto the wrong one. Where basically we're going to be working on not just your overall strength, but your strength and conditioning. You're going to be doing things like a dumbbell overhead walking lunge. Kind of think along the lines of CrossFit, followed by a slam ball. Then you're going to go into a sled push. Things that are going to be taxing on you that you might not necessarily do in your everyday thing, but it's going to help prepare your body physically and mentally to where, hey, if you need to protect your family, you're going to be capable of doing so. Okay. Or you're just going to be able to help your neighbor move his car that maybe ran out of gas up into the gas station. You're going to be able to do that either way and have the confidence of doing that and not feel like you're dying afterwards. So, and then that would be followed by an overhead press day, and then followed by a deadlift day. And then your weekends, I want you to go outside and have fun. I want you to go and do your body surfing. I want you to go for your hikes. I want to go watch you going and doing all the things on the beach that you do with your family and your daughter and that you absolutely love to do. Okay. That is that mentality. What I would also like for you to do is have some additional time separate from those workouts to do your outdoor walks. Okay. So you're going to have your resistance training or your app workout once a day. And then at a separate time in the evening, whether that be, how you would take your walks on the beach or something, or your hikes on the beach in the evening and showing the sunsets. Okay. Do that. And I want you to do that for at least 30 minutes. Now, those that might be listening and that might have heard of 75 Hard, as we have talked about before, that's really how I help guide my brick house bodies, which is a brand that really has developed for me over the course of the last lifetime that I've had body image and weight issues. Okay. And as we've talked about, when we've done extreme things like really eating as minimally as possible and doing as much activity as possible, thinking that's going to get us to our goal faster, really left me feeling very, very depleted. Not just, you know, physically, I was getting sick all the time. I was too tired to help take care of my girls. I was grouchy. I wasn't enjoying life whatsoever. But the moment it's like, okay, I took accountability of, I got to make sure I'm eating enough to fuel what it is that I want to do on a daily basis, along with whatever goal is. But then I also got to make sure that, hey, I'm actually putting the actual action into building myself into what it is that I want, into being the mom that I want, the wife that I want to be, the person, the neighbor that I want to be. Now, I might be a hot mess 95% of the time, just like a lot of moms are, especially in the perimenopause and the menopausal phase. But hey, if you just stay consistent with the basics, doesn't mean you're going to be perfect, because I'm not looking for you to be to the T perfect with your calories and your protein. And I'm going to emphasize that to you with juice, because again, we talked about, how we've kind of both had that, like, hold your breath when you hear and see how much food your coach wants you to see. Okay. And again, as a former bodybuilder as well, totally had that kind of hesitation moment. But that allows us to really make sure that we are gaining all of that benefit and building that, that better man that it is that we're wanting to actually be. And it comes with small things, again, because I absolutely love how, you've incorporated more fruits and vegetables by working with Al over the last several weeks. That's amazing, and I want you to continue that. Perfect. Should you add some animal proteins? Cool. We're going to do that, because, again, the main focus is just make sure you're hitting your protein. You want to maintain and plant-based nutrition? Cool. I'm actually would actually me be conversing with Al and saying, hey, where do you want him at as far as like a protein, or is where how you want his meal makeup to look at? Because I am not a vegan, I'm not vegetarian. That is not my area of expertise by any means. I would go completely to an expert in that field. My job is to make sure you're doing what you know you should be doing. And that's laying bricks every single day and doing the hard work. It's not always going to be fun. It's going to be, you know what kind of work most of the time. But if you keep showing up, and until the end of a program, not just for the first 2 to 4, how that short duration, that, oh my gosh, we have an event in a few weeks or something like that, but that you're able to consistently maintain this by consuming whole foods. Hey, that's exactly what my purpose and job is doing.
Yeah, so that's the goal, right? So,
Right.
and like I said, I'm gonna do whatever you want. I'll eat animals. I'll eat any animal you want, and I'll continue to do the vegetables and fruit with Al too. But yeah, like I said, I'm here to do that. And again, going back to following your coach, because like I said, everyone has a plan, right?
Right.
But there's a difference between activity and production. You
Hmm.
could be the most active, moving around, doing what you got to do kind of person, but if you're not producing anything, it's not effective, it's not, getting to the goal you want to get to, then that activity is worthless, right? And
Right.
so with you guys, we're just cutting to the to the base of where we need to be, right? We're going to do what you have to do and get rid
Hmm.
of all the nonsense, right? And so that's why I like working with both of you. And like I said, Al did a great job with me. um, like I said, he just told me what to do and I did it. So I'm the same way, right? I'm a coachable guy. I've always played sports, and you can talk to Coach Omedo. If you tell me to do something, I'm going to do it. So you tell me to do it, I'll do it.
In
And
fact, actually, my husband is with Coach actually right now, so visiting family in Arizona. So
oh, good. Well, tell him we
I'll
said
let him
hi. Yeah. So we'll get that program started, and we'll do that off air, so we can kind of go over how that works,
know.
and
Okay.
then on our next show, we'll kind of break down what I'm doing, what my exercises are, what my diet makeup is on that. And then, but today really was just to introduce you, get you to know Al. Al's going to be with us through the whole process, as many years as this takes, right? He's going to be the guy that we keep referring back to throughout the whole process. So just want to introduce you guys and get on to the next level, next coach.
Perfect.
Right on. Yeah. So one thing though too, like what you guys were saying is, basically you're just following a proven plan, and that's what like having a true coach could do for you, you know. And the thing that's cool about Michelle is that she's not just like some, I went to school for exercise science and kinesiology or whatever, and I'm just spewing out book knowledge. She actually has the street knowledge, being in competitions, going through all the different things that the issues that people go through. She's actually experienced them, not just helped other people. So that's very valuable to have that in a coach, and it's super awesome. And then 75 hard, I know several people that have gone through that, and some were athletes and some had never worked out in their lives, and like it changes them,
Mhm.
like as long as you, like Michelle said, you follow it, and like I always say, be patient, persistent, and consistent with your efforts, but just follow it
Right.
all the way to the end, you know and that's what your whole show is about. So I'm super excited to see you guys, go through this and see the results John gets. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and Al, we thank you, for kind of being the head coach, right? You're kind of guiding all of us through this together. And like I said, I've known Michelle for 15 years. I've seen all the different hats that she's worn in her life and all the people that she's helped. And talking about her experiences as a bodybuilder, good and bad. I think we've kind of all had that, right? Everyone in their
Mhm.
lives has gone through stuff that we've done. It was like, oh God, why did I do that? I mean, how many years did that take off of my life? What am I going to do now? And, we've all kind of learned that, hey, that's probably not the right thing to do. I mean, like when I was, cutting weight as a kid, and probably why I'm so short now, because it starved myself for the left, first 10 years of my life. So, yeah, so it's great to have experts on the show, and we're going to do things right moving forward.
That's awesome. I'm excited. Well, and not only that, I'm actually more excited of watching you go through this process, because that's really what it is, and not just as a coach, but it's really important for you to understand and trust and enjoy that. Well, you're not always going to enjoy the process, because we all three as athletes know that there were days of practice you were wanting to get out as fast as possible or not show up at all. But it is that tapping back into that mentality, that youthful mentality, because you're only as old as you feel, right? And guess what? It's really hard to feel good if you're not looking good. And I know that sounds weird, but it's true. Yeah, you might not be wanting to become a Greek god or anything along those lines, but hey, guess what? If you've got a six pack as a result of the work you've put in, and you're not feeling like you're depriving yourself, and that you feel more fulfilled in both, you know, with your nutrition, with your daily activity, and your ability to take care and protect your family, but also too in that you are living that standard that you know you should be. Again, fitness and nutrition, all of that aside, but with your family and as the leader of your family, that's what's more important. And like you said, I mean, I've worn many, many hats. The best hat I've ever worn was being the wife and mom of my family. And I have to take care of myself. The bonus is that I get to look good and feel good for my husband. And I get to feel like I'm not dying when I'm trying to keep up with my kids as they enter teenage years. And they still want to hang out with me, you
That's
know?
awesome. And like
So,
I just finished a program with Al for 4 weeks, right?
yeah.
And I got this beard going because I'm doing outdoor stuff. I just got back from the mountains, and I'm going back up next week. But um, just that those 4 weeks of Al with his training and his program they put on nutrition wise, I was out hiking this weekend, and I never got tired. Usually my hips hurt, and I'm kind of like, man, this sucks. But I was able to enjoy being outside, taking my pictures, doing all the stuff that I like to do. And I didn't even one time think about, God, maybe I should sit down or
Mhm.
where's my Diet Coke? I need to get charged up again. I just felt great. So I
Exactly.
mean, this we're just going to keep getting better and better every week.
Exactly. And that's perfect. And that's really, it's because you're giving your body the things that our body was designed to do and consume and produce and break down and utilize and continue going forward. And really, I mean, it's, we've lost sight of that. Again, I think because we were of that generation where it was kind of like, more is better and more is better, more is, oh, crud. Now more is, I'm, in my later years, and I can't get up as quick as I used to. The
Hmm.
recovery, like I said, is a little bit more intense. So once we start giving our bodies what it is, both nutrition wise as well as that time to recover, which is just as important, it's going to allow us to continue getting better as we get older.
Yeah, the more I hear you talk, the more I can see that you and Al have that same. You guys have a lot of the same ideas of putting stuff in your body that's going to make your body work properly, right?
Mhm.
And that's awesome. And so even though you may have a different way of doing it, you guys both have the same goal, right? And I have
Oh,
the same goal. We all have the same goal. That's what's cool about
hey,
the
like I
show is
said,
that we're all working
my
towards it.
brand is Brick House Body. I mean, granted, I might live in an HOA, but I don't like living in a community where everything is cut cookie cutter, and I've seen some gorgeous brick houses that just need a little TLC, a little
Right.
love, and it just takes a little bit more elbow grease. But once you get through that initial setting, then it's all maintenance from that point. And then it's like, okay, hey, guess what? If you want to go ahead and add on or redecorate or renovate that brick house, you can go ahead and do that. But the maintenance is always going to be there. And that's the main thing, is that, like I said, we want to make sure that we're able to be at our best. Doesn't mean we're going to be hitting our numbers that we were in our teens and our 20s, but
Hmm.
we're at our best as we get older and as, in our later years. I've got a couple years before I'm a grandmother. I mean, my girls, like I said, are 12 and my twins are 10. But I want to be, in my 60s and 70s and be able to run with my grandkids and to keep up with them. And hopefully we'll be retired by then, and to travel, be able to have the immune system, the health, and the endurance to go travel and see the world. But I can't expect that to happen then. It's got to start. The building process starts now, just like with you. The building process to become the man it is, that better man that it is that you are becoming yourself and teaching other men becoming, that starts now. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's going to happen each and every single time that you show up to give your best to become your best.
That's great. So that's what the show's all about, right? That's what we're going to do. Thank you guys so much. I mean, this means a lot to me.
You got
Right
it.
on.
I'm
Awesome,
happy to
John.
help.
All right, guys. Well, that's this show. That's this episode of the Better Man Show. Thanks for watching. Remember to tell your family and friends. Thank you, Coach Al, Coach Michelle, and we'll see you all next week.